Well, here we go again. Hopefully we'll keep connection. Take 2. I just realized I don't have my heat tool plugged in case I need it. So say hi when you hop on. I don't know how to turn this on. Okay, y'all, hold on. Hold the phone. Wave or something when you get on. Send me an emoji. That's how a friend of mine says it, emoji. Well. Okay. Maybe that's turned on now. Y'all, I go everywhere. Hey, Golden. How are you? Maybe I can plug this in here. Yep, it works. Y'all, this is going everywhere. Trying to craft is cray, I tell you. It's trying to come on. When I hold it, it comes on. When I don't hold it, it goes on. Maybe I'll plug this in over here too. Okay, that seems to have it turned on. I guess that plug wasn't good. Hey, Susie Q. Welcome, y'all. Back in my bedroom, waiting on the big snowstorm to come. But y'all, I'm so cozy up here. Have a bathroom. Kitchen's downstairs. I can just get in here and snuggle up and be warm. So, I have a calendar that I like to keep in my purse so that I can see when I have events scheduled, trips coming up, etc. Let me turn it on just a little bit. There you go. Now, I mentioned earlier about doing a journal in Check Savvy Live private group. This is the journal that we're doing over the course of the year with Debbie Rigg. I can't turn my camera, you guys. I'm so sorry. It's Dilutions. And it's a Ranger product journal. Let's see. It's got an envelope storage. Just tear this off. And undo it. Okay. So it's just, of course, we're going to zhuzh up the front and back and everything in between. Hey, Donna Miller White. So inside it's got this pocket that you can put stuff in. And then the pages are just blank. Okay. So I got this at Michael's. Debbie said they have them at Hobby Lobby. You can probably order them online, and I think somebody said that they come in a smaller size. But here's the fun part about doing something like that. Dadgummit, I forgot to get my altered book to show you. You can, when you're sitting down at night watching TV, hey Juanita, hey Sharon, hey Donna, cut words or pictures out of books that you want to put in your journal. Say you're doing a page on a rafting trip you went on. Hey Tammy, y'all, my sweet sister, I love you. Then you could do your page background however you want to. You could paint it, you could decoupage it, you could watercolor it, you could stencil it, you could just leave it plain. And then you might go through some magazines and see pictures of kayaks or canoes. Yeah, I'm home in my bedroom. Kayaks or canoes or waterfalls or whatever, and you may cut them out. And of course you're going to want to leave a place to journal. And then, like this weekend when we were out of town, I sat down with some magazines and cut some things out. Franklin is the name of my city. We do RV travel. I cut that word out. We'll have lots of pages on family. This one says, another one on travel. This one says unique and beautiful. This one says cold weather, which I love. So create, here's one that says create. Here's one that says always be humble and kind. So you never know. Here's one that says Lexington, but I'm going to cut that out and put Franklin is hard to put your finger on. We're not quite southern, certainly not northern. We're not the Midwest, rural or urban, big or small, too busy or too boring. See, that would be cute. Hey, Claudia. At the heart of it all, southern, get in touch with your wild side. So these are just things you can cut out. And what Debbie does, and I have 3 big containers over here. I've been cutting out words and pictures for years, y'all. Hey, Vonda, welcome. What Debbie does is she'll get a sheet of just like printer paper and like an Elmer's glue stick, and she'll have a page of words, and she'll put just a little dot of glue on the back of the word and put it on the paper. And then she'll get another one and she'll do the same thing and keep them in a notebook. Then when she's ready to do a journal page, she can look through what she has cut out. Like she may have a page of vehicles, planes and boats and cars. She may have one of ladies cut out of magazines that she showed a page that she had done before that she cut this lady's body out and then she put a picture, a photo of her on the face. It was so cute. Then she did one where she did a stencil of an outline of a lady like she was kind of doing this, and Debbie painted her black, and then the background of the page was real bright, and then she used a white ink pen and journaled right on the girl. So all kinds of things you can do. So I have, like, I got a Belmont University alumni magazine. I'm not going to throw it away till I look through it, because when I'm riding in the car with Rodney, when we go out of town next week, you know, I can be cutting out words. If I'm not journaling, I can journal. That's something I can do in the car on my lap, on my little, sorry y'all, on my little lap tray he made me out of a Home Depot box, and just journal while we're driving down the road. Take pictures, cut out words, put them in a folder. So, but this is my calendar. Yes, I'm talking about Debbie Reed. Okay, she's doing that in her private group, Check Savvy Live. If you're not a member, you should be, because it is amazing. Hey, Sharon. I'm not showing you the front yet, because what I did was I designed, because one thing I'm going to start doing this year is more designing of digital art that I can use in my projects, and then if people want to get them for a download or whatever, hey, Amanda, they can do that. So I kind of wanted this to be like pinup girlish, vintage, and Chanel. I mean, there's a combo for you. But I wanted to do something on the back. Now, I got this book specifically because the front has a clear opening that you can slide paper down in, but the back doesn't. So when I printed what I'm going to put on the back, hey Tammy, I got some, what do you call that? Clear contact paper, and put that on top of my print, so that I can glue it back here, and then if I get dirty fingers on it or water or whatever, it'll be protected. So let me show you the back first. So I made this in my new program I bought. It's got my name, 2025. Hey, Rula, a vintage pinup girl with like an old-timey radio, and it says, "Remember, darling, with a calendar, your days are numbered." And I've already put the clear on it, you can see. So we're going to glue that to the back, and we're going to bling it out with some AB bling trim. Now, the front, and see what I did. I had to do it several times and remeasure it and reprint it to get it to fit my page. Here's one I just, you know, it was too, this one was a little bit too short and a little bit too wide. So I went back and redid it. Now, the front is in here, but we're going to take it out and zhuzh it up. So again, it has my name, 2025. It's got this dripping Chanel. It's got Audrey Hepburn from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and it says, I believe every day you should have at least one exquisite moment. My background is a paper I designed that has pink and gold kind of marbleized. I know that light's kind of annoying. And then down here in this gold ball, it says, believe in the beauty of your life's wishes, Audrey Hepburn. So, I wanted to make sure it fit, so I printed it and trimmed it and trimmed it till I got it to fit. So now I'm going to take it out, and what we're going to do is to zhuzh up these pages, and then the last thing we're going to do on here, hey Sandy and Deborah, is to do stickles, and they'll have to dry at least for a few hours, so I won't be able to put them back in. This, I think I got this one at Staples, I think. So it's got these little stickers in here to do meeting, party, vacation, big day, airplanes. You can, you know, take out and stick on there if you want to. And then I have some of these little magnetic bookmarks, and I had cut out something and put in here for daily gratitude journal prompts. So when I'm doing my morning devotional and Bible study using my other journal, then I can refer to this. Like it says, the number 1, 5 things that make you happy instantly. You know, you could journal about that. Hey Sandy. Did you get any pleasant surprises today? We did, finding out that Ronnie's PSA was lower. Did you do any acts of kindness today? What's something big or small you can do for those less fortunate than yourself? 5 personality traits you're grateful for. Favorite song, and how does it make you feel? 1 small step you can take toward overcoming a challenge you currently face. List something good that caught your attention today. What nice thing did another person do for you this week? What's something you did for another person this week? 3 things you own that make your life easier. How can you turn, let me get this. I think that's, no, I didn't take it. How can you, where's it? Turn something that makes you angry into something more pleasant. Think of 5 people who irritate you or you have trouble getting along with. Name 3 positive qualities about them. Remember what we were talking about earlier? Hey, from the UK, Sharon, how are you? What are you most thankful for in your life? Name 3 of your significant accomplishments, most stunning place you've ever visited. Think about the personalities and unique qualities of someone you admire. Which qualities of them do you want to see in yourself too? What's your favorite holiday and why? Mine's Christmas. What friends are you most grateful for having in your life? What basic daily necessities are you thankful for today? What are you grateful for in your career? Focus on your 5 senses and write down how you can make them more active. 3 elements of nature you're most grateful for. Snow, we're going to get some. Yay! Hey, Auntie. 3 things you love about your town. List 3 struggles you experienced and overcame in your life. What did you do to overcome them and who helped you through them? What meals do you enjoy most? Something you saw this week that melted your heart. A time when someone went out of their way to support you. A happy memory from childhood. Make a list of 5 places you'd like to visit and consider visiting at least one very soon. So those are just some prompts you can use too if you want to. So let's get started. I think on this front cover, the Chanel one, I'm not going to do a lot because it's going to go down in here, but I do have one little bitty CC that has rhinestones on it. So I thought about putting it somewhere, maybe right up here where her crown would go, just to have it, and I think it will still fit down into the plastic okay. And then like I said, see, I could put that right there on her hair. And then I said that I wanted to put some of this AB trim. I've already cut it 2 rows wide, so I want to put the AB trim around here. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use black stickles and fill in the CC with the little drips to make it sparkly. And then once that's dry, I can put that in the front. Then on the back, and again, I've already put the clear on it, I'm going to trim it, but I think I'm only going to cut 1 width of the bling. Hey, Bonnie, welcome, welcome. And then I have this little flat back that I thought we could put somewhere. Where was I thinking? I don't know. We'll work on it. Maybe somewhere up here in the corner. Now, this isn't going to be down in a pocket, so it's going to be real hard to keep stuff on it. Y'all, I have a lot of these, and a lot of these I got from Temu. Like, this is a number 5. It was a charm, and I just cut off the little loop at the top. Look at this one. I haven't even opened this one. This one is a brooch, but you could use each one of these little ones individually, or you could put this on a ball cap or hat, or you could wear it on a shirt. I love it. Look. Isn't that awesome? Hey, Deborah. Hey, Jennifer. Isn't that so cute? So, I have a whole box of those goodies. I also have this CC right here. And I've got some LVs and some Gucci. And I don't have all of the designers, because a lot of them I don't like. I don't do Burberry and things like that. That's not my deal. Hermes, I don't do that one. This one is a croc charm. And I will tell you that most of the things, how do I wrap my hair like that? Neat. Actually, I'll show you. I'll take it down and do it. So what you would have to do is take, like I could take these little needle nose and go in here and grab it, and it just pops right off. And then it's flat back. Okay? Now, most of these I get from a place called ilfaitjourshop.com. ILFAITJOUR shop.com. She's got the name brand fabrics. I've got some somewhere. She's got wrapping paper with all the name brands. She's got patches, iron-on patches, big, little. She got ribbons, and then tons of charms, and they're not expensive. Her name's Fifi. She's out of Atlanta. Hey, Teresa. So, ilfaitjourshop.com. Okay. Rula asked me about my hair. Well, you're fixing to get a good look. See, this looks awful. I do think I have 2 pins in here. Bobby pins. Let me take them out. All right, so this is a messy bun, a messy hair piece right here. See how big it is? I turned my head upside down. Some of it's already fallen out. And gathered it all up and made a high ponytail. I take this, put it over my hand. I just grab the bun and I start wrapping this as if I'm tying, as if I'm using it as a hair tie. And I try to get it around there about 3 times around my natural hair. Pull it up through it. Easier said than done when you're trying to show somebody. Okay? And then I just take my own bun that's pretty much the same color, and I wrap it around there. And if I need to put a pin in to hold some of it down, I do. And I just started wearing like some big headbands that Ronnie got me for Christmas. I usually have, you know, this part hanging down. Put this around my neck before I ever do my hair. And then I'll just pull it up. You can have it as wide or as narrow as you want. Just like that. Okay. Okay, so, thank you, Rula. Kathy D wears those. Yes, she does. That's where I first saw them. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to first do this front piece with the 2 width of the AB Bling. Now, this stuff is very sticky. However, because this book is going to be in and out of my purse a lot, it's going to get a lot of banging around. So, I'm going to put a row of B7000 down each side before I peel the back off and put my bling on there. I'm just doing that for extra protection, and I may have to go back and redo it. The one I made last year, I actually used some letters to spell my name from the Dollar Tree, some of those sticky letters that you get from the Dollar Tree, and a couple of them came off. I just replaced them, and then toward the end of the year, I thought, to heck with it, I don't care. I'm just doing it to decorate it, so it won't be so plain. Okay, so I'm going to start peeling this off. I'm not going to peel it all the way yet. And I'm going to get right up against the edge and lay it down carefully. And I'll have some extra, so I'm going to trim it off. Now, I do not throw these little pieces away, because you'd be surprised at how you'll be right in the middle of a project and need like just a small little piece of bling, and you think about all those little pieces you threw in the trash can when you did a project before and you wish you hadn't. So just keep you a little bag of some sort. This is off the paper a little bit, so let me peel it back before it fully sticks. Keep you a little bag or something that you can just drop the scraps down in and have it for little projects. I really need to bring it back a little bit more and line it up more even with the edge. Now, where I first started it had a little extra piece of like tape, the sticky part, so I'm going to trim that off. Okay. So here's one. It's very simple. Anybody, even children, can do this, okay? So now let's go down this side. So I decided I was going to do the 2 long sides first and then the 2 short sides, because I will cut each end of them off to fit inside where these are. So let me see what else I have to tell y'all. If you didn't see our video of us driving home from Lexington the other day, you need to go back and watch. It was touch and go for a while. We were sliding away for sure. In fact, I think when I did my reel or my TikTok, I think I used I think it's Paul Simon, sliding away. I used that song. But Rodney's a very careful driver. He was literally white-knuckled sitting up there. And the ice was so bad on the windshield wipers that and when they would scrape across the window, of course, they weren't really cleaning the windshield. So there would be like little slivers that he could go like this through to see the road. And we were on Bluegrass Parkway, which really doesn't have a place to pull off that's safe. And so we finally saw an exit with the truck stop, and we pulled off there. Fortunately, he had bought some de-icer the day before, and he had Windex. Who knew that if you put Windex on there, that will help as well. Okay, so let me just push it down. This will stretch a little bit if you need for it to. I don't particularly want it to, but hey, Carol. Hey, Cheryl. How are you, sister? Okay, this one is off just a tad bit of the edge, so let me straighten that up. So when I get ready to put it in that clear thing, it's not going to be a pain. One thing I was going to tell y'all was we watched over New Year's a movie called The Forge. Has anybody else seen The Forge? I rented it on Amazon Prime Video. I think it was like $4.99. But I believe somebody told me, I'm going to go on and cut this one, that you can get it on Netflix. It's really good. Christian based. Very, very good movie of redemption. So if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to watch it. Hey, Eileen, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Hey, Andrea. Welcome, everybody. So glad you're here. So I'm in Middle Tennessee, if you're not familiar with me. And my husband usually is on my lives, at least when he can be. Sometimes he's actually the one doing the craft. He's very creative. But most of the time he's on reading comments for me. Sometimes telling silly dad jokes. And this year we're going to start doing more trivia when we're on our page. Just, you know, to keep the momentum going and give people something to think about and interact with each other on. So we're going to start doing some trivia. We did some the other day when I was a guest crafter on Grammy's Crafts and Craziness. We did some on, I think I got one extra here, on New Year's. And we still have some New Year's ones. I found a lot on that. So it's just always fun to give you something to think about and not have any dead air when you're on live. Nobody likes to just sit there in the total quiet. At least I don't. I love it when I can interact with other people and they can interact with me. And creators love that too. It just makes our makes what we're doing a lot more fun. So, we just about got this one on. So anyway, The Forge. Who has seen it? Anybody? Hey, Carolyn. Tell me if you've seen it. It's really good. And then if you've seen any other shows that you would recommend, I'd like to know. I think there's one called, what's it called? 688 or 688 or something like that. I've heard several people say it's so good. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I think it's also on Netflix. That's all we watched during the holidays. We didn't watch any holiday movies this year on Hallmark. We watched tons of them on Netflix. Okay. Almost. Hello. These glasses. Maria, how are you? Welcome in. If you all are not following Crafting and Cruising, we would love for you to give us a follow. Turn your notifications on and check them pretty often because the Book of Faces likes to turn them off for you. Hey, Debbie, when you don't want them turned off. And then there's also pinned to the top of our page a link to our Telegram channel. I always send a telegram out when I'm going live. Oh, did I do it this time? I told them in the last live a few minutes ago that I was going to be going live. Okay, this paper is getting pretty heavy, but now you can see we have all 4 sides done. Now, I turned on my hot glue tool because if I'm going to use this little CC in her hair, for the permanent hold, I'm going to use the B7000, but for a quick hold, I'm going to put just a dot of hot glue. But I'm not going to put it in the same place where I'm putting the B7000. You don't want them touching. So I'm putting right on the edges of the CC, the B7000. And then, I'm going to try not to burn my fingers because this thing is so tiny. Put a dot of hot glue. And put it right down here on her crown area. Push it over a little bit and just hold it for a minute to let that hot glue stick. Hey, Lena. Jackie, welcome, welcome. I'm seeing some new faces and that makes me so happy. Okay, if you're not familiar, let me put the top on this glue right now. If you're not familiar with stickles, you should be. And for those of you who don't know this, I usually get mine from misterart.com, M-I-S-T-E-R, art.com. This is stickles. It's like glitter glue. Thank you, Nancy. Hey, Alyssa, it's like glitter glue, but you don't have to fool with the glitter. So, I'm going to do the CC and the drips in Stickles, and I'm going to squirt it out on a plate first just to make sure I don't get any like sudden squirts. Morello, I was just thinking about you today, sister. I have missed you. So glad you're here. Let me get one of the C's done, and then I'll hold it up so y'all aren't just sitting there looking at the top of my head the whole time, because I know that's a pretty view. So for those of y'all who don't know, we're supposed to get, oh, there's a little ladybug. We're supposed to get, well, depends on who you watch on TV, probably anywhere between 3 and 8 inches of snow starting Friday morning. Now, we in Middle Tennessee don't typically get a lot of snow, so when we do, everybody goes berserk at the stores. I'm telling you, it's like it was when the pandemic hit. No lie. You can't get toilet paper, you can't get milk, you can't get bread. I mean, you would think that we were going to be snowed in for months. So that's how it already is in Middle Tennessee. People are just, oh my gosh, we're going to get so much snow. Here's the other problem in Middle Tennessee. First of all, I would not be a weatherman in this area. There's always going to be somebody mad at you, because many times when they say that we're going to get snow and the kids get all excited, because around here schools close if we get snow, mostly because they don't want the bus drivers driving in it. And if the kids hear that we're supposed to get snow, they are living and breathing for the call or the announcement on TV from the weatherman that their county or their private school is closed. I know, because I did it as a kid growing up, and my kids did it, and now my grandchildren are doing it. So, many times, for whatever reason, in our location, the snow that is predicted will turn before it actually gets to us. And we might get a dusting, we might get ice. Rarely do we get big snows to really have fun in. Hey, Brenda. Thank you, Morello. No, I'm not snowed in yet. They're predicting it on Friday. Okay. So see how those Stickles just bring it out. Isn't that cool? So what we have learned is, if the weatherman says it's going to snow and it's going to accumulate, 1 to 3 inches, 2 to 4 inches, or whatever, and everybody gets excited, and it's like, we call it a Kroger alert, because we have Kroger grocery store around here. We call it a Kroger alert because that means that if you go to Kroger, there will not be a cart to be found, because everybody is expecting Snowmageddon to hit, and so they go and act a fool and buy everything on the shelf as if they're never going to be able to get out of their driveway again. And and then when the kids get up, the parents have to listen to, what happened to the snow? They said we were going to get no fair. I remember when I had my children were growing up, they went to a private Christian school affiliated with the church, and the private schools didn't close as readily as the county schools did, because a lot of them don't have bus service, but the county schools have bus service, so they have to be real careful for like rural roads that are going to be, iced over or snowed over, and they don't want the buses running and taking a chance on something happening, which I understand. But my kids, we took them to school every day and picked them up. So they frequently had to go to school when county schools were out. And what we soon learned was that the headmaster of their school would pretty well go by whatever the headmaster from the high school that I graduated from, which was another private school, whatever he decided to do, then my children's headmaster would follow suit. So they would not only be mad at the headmaster who didn't let them out of school, but then they'd be mad at the other headmaster because he said he was going to have his kids go on and come in anyway, and so therefore our headmaster did it. And then all these other kids would, you know, be bragging about how they were out in the snow, having so much fun, blah, 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 blah. And my kids were like, no fair, it's no fair. So I remember well those days. Okay, and they're not going to drip, so I can hold it up here and show you and it not drip. Now I think the only other thing I want to do is I may put red on her lips. And then I may outline this gold circle that says, believe in the beauty of your life wishes. I may outline it in gold stickles. Let's see if we can get, her lips are real thin in this picture, which is pretty small. So that looks more like a mustache. Yeah, that's not great. The stickles are wider than her lips. If I can just get that one a little thicker, then it probably would look better. MrArt.com is where you should get your stickles. Cheaper. Okay, so now she has red lips. And now I'm going to take gold stickles. This is in the color sandstone. I don't think that, no, I want mercury glass if I have it. That's silver. Mercury glass is my favorite. I think this might be mercury glass. So let's put it around. Hey, Wendy. Thank you, Claudia. Okay, so let me, now if your tip gets clogged, which they very easily do, you can usually just stick like a straight pin down in there. I meant to pick up the other day at Joann's and I forgot. I wanted to get some of those long straight pins with the big heads on them. And that doesn't even look gold anymore. That looks almost silver. No, I don't like that. Put a straight pin in there and it'll keep it open so you don't have to worry about it. All right, let's use sandstone. For example, this one. Let me grab a straight pin in my back. Hold, please. I'll be right back. I don't have a straight pin, but I have a needle. I guess that'll work just as well. Okay. So, now I can poke this down in here. Try to open it back up. Okay, let's see if that worked. No, that did not work. And I don't know, I don't think you can take these little things off. I do have the mercury glass out in the motorhome, and I thought I had picked one up, but I guess I didn't. That one still looks gold to me. Nope, not when I get it up close it doesn't. It's obviously silver. You can get them in like ice. You can get them in crystal. Yeah, this one, I think this one is ruined for good. It's got some clear coming out of it, but I don't think it's going to open for me. Come on. Remember how I told you? Remember when I said it would work? No. Okay. So, we may have to just go with, I've got this right here that looks like it's clear. I think this is diamond. So we'll go around this circle. Okay, with diamond. Then I can always go back and add mercury glass if I want some more pop to it. But remember, this is going to go in that little plastic sleeve. So it doesn't need, this one's trying to clog up too. It doesn't need a lot of stuff on it because it won't fit down in there if I do. Okie doke. Then we'll do the back page, and then we'll be done. Then tomorrow I can put it all together, and I may eventually put something on the inside cover and the inside back cover, just because if I'm bored one day and don't have anything to do, why not just add a little extra page in there. And I'm not going to throw these away when I get through with the year. You know, one day after I'm long gone, my kids may want to look through it and see, oh, this is what Mom and Dad did on this day, or this is where they went, one of the places they traveled. I think this next week we're going to Charleston, South Carolina. Love Charleston. And he's got to do a job there. So that'll probably be our next trip. Okay, so this one's going to be harder to see the stickles on it, but hopefully you can see a little sparkle. All right, so I'm going to lay this one out of the way right here and let it just fully dry. Make sure nothing's around it that's going to fall on top of it and smear my stickles. Now, on the back side, don't throw that piece away, Lisa. On the back side, we have the vintage pinup girl with like a radio. And I did this on like a red bubble background. Hey, Renee. Hey, Lisa. I like your name. So I think on this one, because of the Y down here, I think I'm only going to make it one wide. Now that's not going to be, let me cut one part of the way and see. It's not going to be as sparkly, but that's okay. It's on the back of the book and it's not going to have protection down in there. So let's see what one will do. Yeah, I think one's going to be plenty. These things trim up real nicely. Some of them are real hard to see. I've been known to start out cutting like a row of two, and then part of the way through I'll notice that I've jumped over to a third one. So I have to go back and trim it up to make it fit. But this, and I think this particular brand, it doesn't have a brand on it. Yeah, it does. It says Crown, number 513. Pretty sure these came from Temu. If they didn't come from Temu, they came from Amazon. Amazon has them too, so I know you can get them both places, but I'm pretty sure I got mine on Temu. Hey Florence, hey Peggy, welcome, welcome, welcome. I should be getting a Temu order in soon. It's been a while since I ordered, so I got on the other night and I wanted to get some more of this bling trim. And you know, the thing about Temu is it can take as long as 3 weeks, maybe 4, depending on how shipping's going. And by the time it gets to me, it's like Christmas, because I've already forgotten what I ordered. So I open it up and I'm like, oh, did I get that? And I see that one broke, but it's going to be fine because it's going to fit inside there. So we'll finish cutting this one and then we'll start on another one. So I'm looking for something in red. Guest crafters, creators to be on my page. For those of you who don't know, I had major dental work done last year in Cancun, Mexico. I know. Somebody's got to do it, so it might as well be me looking out on the deep blue, turquoise, gorgeous Caribbean Sea. So, some of you may ask, and why did you do it in Mexico? Well, I'll tell you why if you hadn't heard the story. Here we go with our B7000 again. I did that because when I got an estimate, mind you, I was having basically a whole mouth makeover, okay? Most people who knew me had no idea that I had any dental problems or was self-conscious about my smile. My bottom, like 6 teeth in the middle, I had ground down literally 2 stubs, flat top stubs. It's awful. And for years in photos, people would say, Lisa, smile. Well, I would smile, but I would smile closed mouth. And they would go, no, I mean smile. And they would go, no. And I said, yeah, that's all you're going to get from me. And, but I didn't want to tell them why. So this is not sticking on this clear paper very well. Maybe it's not going to need, hold on, I'll finish my story. This B7000, I don't know. But now it's stretching. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take this one off and not use B7000 right now and see how long it stays on, because that wasn't working too well. Anyway, people would say, smile, Lisa, and I'd be like, nope, not going to do it. This is all you're getting. And so I really felt like, well, I had talked to my own dentist about it, and he said, Lisa, the only way we could really put crowns on your teeth is if you wore braces for a couple of years and got your bite back where it needs to be, and then, you know, we could talk about crowns. Well, I immediately knew, cha-ching, 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 just listening to him talk about me being in braces for 2 years. Plus, at my age, who wants to be in braces? And not me. So he said that's really the only way I could put crowns on your teeth, because you have nothing to support crowns on your bottom teeth. So I was real discouraged because I just did not want to wear braces. I'd already worn braces as a child. I didn't want to wear them again. And so I was pretty discouraged. Well, then I started seeing all those, you know, ads for Clear Choice and not Dental Bliss, but there was another one besides Clear Choice. I forgot what it was. Anyway, I started seeing all that. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll go. And, you know, they would do a free consult and do free x-rays, check your teeth. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Pam. And so I went to, I think, Clear Choice first. Well, you know, of course, they asked for a health history. So here's just one wide, which I think is plenty on this, especially at the top and bottom. So in the health history thing, it asked, did you have any kind of autoimmune disease, and did you have like osteoporosis? Well, I do have osteoporosis. And at that time, once a year, I was going for an infusion of Reclast. And then I had started taking calcium and vitamin D. So the first place I went in Nashville said, no, we won't do it because you have to have that Reclast. And if you have to have Reclast, then that means your bone structure's not good, which means we probably couldn't work on your teeth without there being a risk, so we won't do it. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go to the other place, and I'm just not going to tell them I have osteoporosis, because I want to know, you know, what they would do and what the cost would be. So I went and, you know, went through the whole consult, and they were just right ready to sign me up. When would you like to get started? And I said, well, you know, first of all, I got to talk to my husband about all this. But secondly, the big question for me is, you know, what is this going to cost? Of course, you know, they would do financing and yada, yada, yada. I said, well, what is this, dadgummit, what is this going to cost? And so, y'all, I'm talking and I got off, and now it's not, it's stretching, so I'll have to redo it. So anyway, it was going to be $55,000. Now, at my age, did it make sense to spend that kind of money on my mouth? Well, in the meantime, I had started going live. I had to make sure that the camera was at a certain angle so nobody could see my bottom teeth, which made it very difficult. I was still so self-conscious. I hated every minute of it. So I said, I'm sorry, but you know, even with financing, I just can't. I can't conceivably pay $55,000 to have my mouth taken care of, especially at my age. Now, if I was in my 20s or 30s and still had, you know, so much of my life ahead of me, then maybe so. But no, I'm not going to spend that kind of money. And she said, well, just to let you know, the same process in Miami is $90,000. 90. And I said, well, that's good. I'm certainly glad I don't live in Miami for more reasons than one. And so I thanked them and you know, came home and told Ronnie, I said, I'm just real discouraged because, you know, they said it was going to be $55,000, and you know, he about choked when I said that. And so anyway, I had mentioned it in some crafting group. It may have been Debbie's private group, I'm not sure. And one of the sweet sisters there who lives close to the border, she lives in Texas, close to the border, she sent me a private message and she said, hey, she said, why don't you come to Mexico and get it done? It will be ever so much cheaper. She said, I live real close to the International Bridge, I think she called it, that crosses over between Texas and Mexico. And they will come pick you up at my house, drive you over when you need to go, and have your, you know, do whatever needs to be done and bring you back. And then if y'all want to go out into dinner or want to go shopping or whatever, hey Nita, hey Rosemary, you know, they'll take you there too and they won't charge you anything. And I was like, oh, that sounds a little too good to be true. And she said, I go over there just to get my regular dental work done because it's so much cheaper. And she said it's very professional. Their doctors are definitely board certified. Most of them are trained in the States. You really should consider it. So then she started sending me names of people that, like, her daughter and her son-in-law or whoever had gone to, as well as the person she went to. And so I sent emails to all of those different locations and asked them to, you know, contact me, that I'd like to talk to them about it. Well, none of them responded back. But I got this random call one day from this man who owns a dental clinic there. So apparently in Mexico, it's not unusual for a private owner to actually own the dental practice. I'm messing this all up, y'all. To own the dental practice, but they're not the dentists themselves. I think it's because of this contact paper. So anyway, I still don't know how he got my name and number, but he started telling me about the facility, and you know, they were just across the border and they would come pick me up and blah 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 blah. And he told me a price, which I'll tell you in a minute. And so so he said, what he said was, you will come down on, you need to, you know, come, like, if you come, say, for example, on Friday, then I would pick you up at the airport. I would drive you to the dental office. We would do x-rays, make sure that, you know, what we're talking about doing is going to be feasible for you. And then we would get started on the work. And by Sunday, you would be flying back to Nashville. And I thought, wait a minute. Because we were talking about having to remove teeth, having to put implants. I thought, there is no way. He is pulling my leg. And so he gave me the names of two people that had, you know, work done at their dental office. And he said, call them. You know, they'll be happy to answer any questions you have. They'll be straightforward with you about what our office is like, yada, yada. So I called one of them, talked to this man. He could not speak highly enough of the place. His parents lived right across the border. So, you know, he stayed with them when he went down there, and he just said, you know, they're great people. The work they did was superb, blah, blah, blah. And so I said, okay. So talked to my husband about it, and we made hotel reservations. We were going to stay with my friend, but she wasn't going to be there then. So we made hotel reservations. We got our plane ticket booked, and we were going to be able to fly on Southwest, and I fly free. Oh, good, that's going to fit. I fly free on Southwest with Rodney because he has so many points accumulated. So I have a pass. And so, but he has to be with me or I can't use it. And so, anyway, we booked all that. We booked the hotel, called my friend, told her, you know, I know we won't see you because you're going to be at your other home then, but, you know, we got it all booked. Thanks for the referral, even though it was not one of the people she referred me to. And so then the next day, I went to get my nails done. Of course, the girl that does my nails is Vietnamese. Well, she had been to Vietnam the year before and had all of her teeth, veneers put on all her teeth. Her teeth were gorgeous anyway. I wasn't even sure why she did all that. But she said she wanted veneers. So, of course, it was very, very, very cheap in Vietnam. Plus, she got to see some of her family. So, you know, it was worth the trip to her. She was there, I think, for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. So, anyway, I'm sitting there getting my nails done, and I'm telling her what I'm going to do. And she said, well, where are you going? And I said to whatever the city was in Mexico. I don't even know what city it was. And she goes, hold on a minute. So she opens up her drawer, and she pulls out this business card that initially I thought she said that she had a client who had been to Cancun Dental Specialist. Turned out that's not true. The client had not been, but the client knew somebody that had been to Cancun Dental Specialist and spoke so highly of them. And so T said, here, take a picture of this business card, and why don't you call them just to get like another opinion, you know, to make sure that you're going to be happy where you go. So I came home and told my husband about it, and we did like a internet chat that night with somebody, quite a long chat, telling him, you know, what I thought I wanted done, and telling him about the status of my lower teeth, etc. And so he walked me through the steps, and he said, well, we would need you to get an x-ray and send to us just to make sure that it's something we can do. They call it all on 4 or all on 6. And I had heard that. I knew that from here. And so I went to my dentist, and I got an x-ray, and I sent it to him. Now, I told him at the outset, hey, Katie, I said, I will not have a sinus lift if y'all tell me I have to have that. Sweet Debbie Rigg had a sinus lift and was miserable, and the doctor that did it basically messed up bad. She went back to him a time or two, then she went to a different dentist to try to clean up his mess. It was awful. And so, and this is the little thing I'm thinking about putting back here somewhere. It's like a little Chanel flower. So since we did Chanel on the front, I thought it might be cute to put it back here. Could put it where it's kind of, well, it's too big for her head. Maybe just up here in the corner. Maybe nothing, because it's not going to stay on. I can almost guarantee you. But we can try. Hold on, I'll finish showing you. Or I have the little number 5 bottle. I don't want to take, let me get my box up here and look one more time. I have some bigger Chanel, but I don't need anything bigger. Now I do, let me see about these. I have these little smaller flowers that might be cute. I have some cute purses, but I think they're gonna be too big. I have these little lipsticks. Look at these little lipsticks with the black and white check. I could maybe put a lipstick in her hand. No, it's gonna cover up her mouth. Now here's a little white with the gold crown. We could put that in her hair. I kind of like that little flower in her hair. Kind of big. Anyway, so Debbie had this sinus lift, and I said, there's no way. I watched her go through that. There is no way on God's green earth I'm going to go through that. So if y'all tell me I have to have a sinus lift, the deal's off. And he said, okay, that's why we want you to send us an x-ray ahead of time. So I sent the x-ray, and, you know, he answered back and said, it doesn't look like you're going to need a sinus lift, so let's go on and get you scheduled to come down here. So I said, well, let me talk to my husband. So when I saw pictures of where I was going to be, y'all, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Speak of the devil and who should walk in the door.
Are you doing a cooking show?
Cooking? No. Why?
Showed my recipe.
What is that?
Old college recipe. Big John's beans and fixins.
Show him. He's got some Big John's beans and fixins.
Actually,
he's done.
We used to buy Big John's and then we jazzed it up. So this is about 4 pounds of ground beef, 1.5 pounds of beans, and then all the spices in the kitchen and some gravy.
He's on Atkins, so he's trying to lose some weight.
Good supper here.
Okay. So anyway, I think I like this butterfly, y'all. So anyway, he said, you know, let me know when you make your plans, where you're going to stay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what you need to know is, before the pandemic hit, we had gotten this call from Monster Vacations, like 2 years before the pandemic hit. Well, maybe a year. Rodney got this call from this place called Monster Vacations, and you know, we could have a 6-night, 7-day free excursion, free trip if we would just do the 90-minute timeshare presentation, which we had done timeshares before. One time we bought, we said we're not going to buy, but we'll do that because it was going to be free. It was a 5-star resort, all inclusive, mind you. Well, we didn't get to take it because then the pandemic happened. And after the pandemic happened, hey Pam, hey Melissa, right, a couple times they called and wanted to reschedule us, and we couldn't do it. And then we rescheduled a couple times and had to back out. So that went on for like over a year. And I told Rodney, I said, those people are going to give up on us. They're going to say, you know, no, we're not going to fool with them anymore. So literally, like, we had paid for it 2 years before. So he contacted them and said, you know, because of the pandemic, blah, blah, blah. So can we still use our trip? And they said, yes. You still have to do the, you know, 90-minute timeshare tour, but yes, you can still use it. So because I fly free with him, all we had to really pay for was his flight on Southwest. The food was all inclusive. My plane ticket was free. And so, and we paid for one dinner. Like the first night we were there, we stayed in a different hotel. And before we could check into the timeshare hotel. So we had to buy our dinner that night. That's a whole nother story, I'll tell you. So anyway, is your chat messages working? Crazy crap, crazy company. I see your messages coming through. So anyway, I don't know that I'm going to put any stickers on here. So anyway, we finally make our plans and we go down there. So the first night, y'all, we go out to dinner across the street from this hotel because we didn't have a vehicle. But they want you to stay in the hotel district. Number one, it's a lot safer than downtown. And number two, they come around and pick you up every day. This is not a quick process. Just know ahead of time if you're going to do it. You have to go to the dental office every day. There were days I was in the dental chair 4 hours. There were days I was in the dental chair 10 minutes. So, but then because I had to have actual surgery where I had an implant before I went. That one they couldn't use. They had to remove that one, bone graft there, and then so I have 4 implants on top and 2 on the bottom. But they said they were going to be able to save my bottom teeth, even though they were ground down, because I had great bone structure. Who knew? Because I just knew those teeth were going to come out. So they would pick me up every day. Like the first couple of days, Rodney went with me, and after that, I said, "There's no reason for you to go with me. You know, I'm a big girl. I can do this. You stay here." We were right on the beach, so I said, "Stay here and enjoy your time at the beach." Good grief. I may actually go back and add some more bling since I've got room on both sides here. So, and I'm going to use, since this is kind of slick back here, I'm going to use Mod Podge. Normally I would use Deb's DIY Design Liquid Patina, but I'm going to use this since it's thicker. So, you know, he could sit out by the pool, he could get in the pool, he could go in the ocean. It was like one of those infinity pools, you know, that looked out over the ocean. And so he went with me a couple of days, and then the other days he just stayed at the hotel. And they would pick me up, pick lots of other people up at different hotels. Y'all, Mondays are like intake days there. Now they have 4 or 5 locations, but the main location is where they do the intakes. I promise you, they have 2 waiting rooms that are very small. I would bet during the course of any Monday, they would have in the vicinity of 100 patients coming in there. Most of them new patients for consultation to see if they could get the work done. Of those people that went in there, I can guarantee you that 80 to 90 or 95% were Americans or Canadians. Hey, Sharon. Right next door to this office was a plastic surgeon's office. So there were people from all over going in and out of there too. It was incredible. You could literally eat off the floors of the dental office. Clean, bright, beautiful, very professional. Like I said, most of the dentists are trained in the U.S. Spoke very, very good English. Of course, to each other they'd speak in Spanish, but their English was impeccable. And every day I was in a chair looking out on the turquoise teal waters of the Caribbean. Oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. So everybody that I was in contact with, of course I had a surgeon, I had like regular dentists, and then I had a female who was the designer of, you know, my mouth, that took all the impressions and decided what needed to go where. So, but the day I had my surgery, y'all, remember I told you we were staying in an all-inclusive? Well, I had taken packages of instant potatoes, puddings, etc. Because when they took all of that out of, when they put the implants in and had to remove the teeth and took this previous implant out and did bone graft, I had 2 like dentures. The top one I had to take out every night and put back in the morning. The bottom one was temporarily screwed into my jaw, so it did not come out. Had to stay that way for 6 months while the implants healed. Okay? So, the day after my surgery, y'all, I don't remember anything about the surgery. I don't remember leaving the office. I said to Rodney, how did we get back to the hotel? He said, on the van, like we got there. I said, how did we get in the hotel? He said, I walked you up the steps and into the room. They offered to bring a wheelchair, and I told them, no, you'd be fine. And I remember none of that. Like, I'm oblivious to any of that. So I woke up the next day, y'all, eyes swollen, and during the course of the next few days, I turned black, green, purple. I would get on the van in the morning with many men and some women who were down there. They weren't all getting the same thing done that I was getting done. None of them had swelling and bruising like me. None of them. I looked like I had been beaten up. In fact, when Rodney and I would walk to a restaurant or anything, I just felt like I needed to say to people, he didn't do this. This is dental. But I'm sure everybody down there is so used to having dental patients in all these big hotels in the hotel district. So then when I would, get back to the hotel in the afternoon, I just took my big fat bruised face out to the pool or to the beach and, acted like nothing was going on. I thought, I'll never see these people again, so I don't care if they like it or not. They think it looks bad or not. Okay, so I think I probably will go back and add some more bling around this pink side, but I'm not positive. I don't think I'm going to use stickles on here. Originally, I thought I would, but I think that they would just eventually rub off moving around in my purse and stuff, so it'd probably be a waste. Remember, she said, remember, darling, with the calendar, your dates are numbered. So anyway, we were down there for 12 days, the first time, I think. So anyway, when the way I made the decision was, it was going to be $55,000 in Nashville. Same thing was going to be $90,000 in Miami. In Cancun, $13,000. You heard me right. 13. Free room, because we had that vacation thing. I flew free, so we had to pay for Ronnie's flight. We had to pay for our food and the hotel the first night. So what I was going to tell you was the first night we're staying in the Aloft Hotel, okay? I love lobster. I don't get to have lobster much because good lobster is hard to find around here, number one, and number two, it's expensive. When I was pregnant, that was my craving, lobster. Rodney said, could you not have a cheaper craving? And I'm like, it's not something I planned. So we went to this restaurant across the street. They had fresh lobster. I was like, we are getting lobster. So when the guy comes to the table, we place our drink orders, and then he goes, what would you like to eat? And I said, well, I think we're going to split a lobster. So he brings out this big tray that had 3 different size real lobsters on there. Large, medium, smaller. And so I said to Rodney, well, shouldn't we just get the big one since we're going to split it? And he said, yeah, that'd be fine. So I told the guy, okay, we want the large one. He said, okay. So he comes out. Of course, they had vegetables and salad with it or whatever. So he brings it out to us, and we eat. And he brings the check, which, of course, was in pesos. And so I get out my handy-dandy little calculator, and I am, translating it from pesos to USD. 200 and some odd dollars. And Rodney said to him, on the menu, it said such and such pesos, which we had figured, it's going to be like $70. That was per pound of the lobster. So, it's our first night there, and I'm like, well, good thing we're going to be in an all-inclusive for you. Good thing we brought some mashed potatoes, instant mashed potatoes and Jell-O for me, because we're going to be eating ramen noodles and soup the rest of the time we're here. If not, that was crazy. It was a delicious meal, but I was like, oh my gosh, it was per pound. Who knew? So anyway, we go, have the work done, come home, and about, I don't know how long, I lost track of time, but probably within a month or a month and a half, the upper one cracked. So we got in touch with them because MacGyver that I'm married to that can, fix anything and do anything said we need to find out what kind of cement we could get, and I'll just repair it, until we go back in 6 months for you to have the permanent work done. Well, we called and no, that really wasn't anything we could do. Well, can you send me another one since you made impressions? Well, no, we have so many patients here that we don't keep the impressions. So what do y'all suggest I do? We have to come back down here. I don't think so. I have a warranty on these, and this was not my fault. So they said, we will pay for your airfare and your accommodations while you're here for us to repair it. They wouldn't pay for Ronnie's flight, but they paid for my flight. And a room, a decent room for us to stay in. We were there for like 4 nights, I think. So got that fixed, came home, healed, then went back in February of last year, and we were there for 10 days, and I had the permanent ones put on. And I crafted while I was down there live, but I also had some guest crafters. I really prefer to do that because you never know if the internet's going to be good or not. So if anybody's interested and you have your own page, let me know. And so they told me when I left, they said it's really best if you can come back annually. These are all individual crowns. This is one piece that is screwed in to the implants in my jaw. So they will pull the screws back out, uncover them, pull the screws out, take this piece off, clean it real good, make sure that everything's still firm and in good working order. Put it back on, and then clean all these real good. But they tell you to plan on at least 5 days. Because if something is wrong and they have to make an impression and send it to the lab, takes 2 or 3 days at the lab, then it comes back, they have to try it on you, you have to live with it for a day or so to make sure it's going to be okay. So, I mean, who's going to complain about going and sitting out at the beach in the warm weather, looking out over the turquoise Caribbean Sea for a week? You know, somebody's got to do it, help the economy, so might as well be me, right? So, that, I'm sure most of y'all had heard before, but that's my dental story. And I had so many people say to me before I went, Lisa, you are crazy. Why in the world are you going to a place like Mexico to get your teeth taken care of? I said, well, I've done a lot of research. The reviews online, they had, and Ronnie had told me when I was looking at reviews online before I committed, I said, get on their website. They've got hundreds of reviews, and they're all great. And he said, well, what you need to do is look at reviews not on the website. Like, get on Dr. Google and do some research around there and see what other people are saying. Same thing. People could not speak highly enough of it. So professional, very clean, very sterile. I mean, it was like any dental office would be around here, maybe better. So, yeah, I was very, very pleased. So, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So we are going back on the 17th of January. We fly out to the 23rd, I think, we come back. So, yeah, I probably will try to go live myself at least once to see if it works. And then I would like to have a couple, 3 guest crafters come on my page. When I did that before, I had guest crafters come on, and then I could get on their page and share them over. No, that's not what I did. I gave them admin rights on my page because I wanted the algorithm wouldn't recognize it as benefiting me if they weren't on my page. So you can get temporary admin rights to somebody on your page. So that's what I did. And then after they were through, I would leave their admin rights on for 3 or 4 hours so they could go back and answer questions or make comments. And then I would remove their admin rights. So it's a very easy process to do. So anywho, that's that. So here is our front again that is drying nicely. I can tell from the back. You can probably tell too if you look closely. You can see where the stickles are dry and where they're not. And you can see a lot more of the sparkle on them when they're dry. as opposed to when they're so wet. So once that dries, I will slip it down in this little pocket right here. And that will be the front. And then we have this on the back. I have these cute little, I don't think I have them over here, but little, what do you call them? Not gator clips, but some small clips to put on here to keep stuff. You know, I have our camping schedule with our camping group that I'll keep in my notebook, in my journal. And then I have these magnetic bookmarks that I got from a Christian bookstore. There was like 6 to a package. You can use in your Bible to mark passages. So, yeah. I'm just ready to go. Got my January calendar here. Now, usually what I do is go back and highlight stuff. So, I'll highlight it in one color if it's craft related, in another color if it's like a travel trip with Rodney, and then just leave it highlighted for like doctor's appointments and stuff. So anyway, I'm doing that. We are going to maybe go on a cruise for our family summer vacation. We're not sure. We're going on a cruise at the end of July, last couple weeks of July through the 1st of August to Alaska. And it'll be like 5 days on land and then a 7-night cruise. I'm going to Arizona for Debbie Riggs' birthday, big birthday bash in April. And then we'll go out a few days early and see my Dominican daughter and her family. I'm going to Dina Ray's event at the end of May. I always love that. And I'm in Kathy DiDomenico's Royal Sparkle Chicks, which is her private group, and I think she's going to do something in September, so I hope to go there. So, got some things going on. So anyway, thank you all so much for joining me a second time today. I hope you have a blessed night. I hope you have an opportunity to go out and bless somebody. And as always, remember, if you need me or want me to pray about anything, you can direct message me on the page, or you can send me an email to craftandcruise@gmail.com. Spell out the word and, craftandcruise@gmail.com. If you're not on our page already and haven't joined, please do. We would love to have you. And if you're not on our Telegram channel, that's the very best way to find out when we're going live. So please get on our Telegram channel so we can let you know when we're going live. I love you guys so much, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Good night.